I am waiting for your answer, not with impatience, but with hope. Because waiting isn't weakness. Waiting is what we do when something truly matters. In this silence, I've learned something about love and about life, that real emotions don't rush, that real connections don't demand, they trust. We live in a world that wants everything now, instant replies, instant happiness, instant promises, but the most meaningful things take time. So today, this speech is not just about waiting for an answer. It's about believing in love, even when it's quiet. It's about staying kind when you don't know the outcome. And it's about having the courage to wait because your heart knows the answer is worth it. I am waiting for your answer, and I say that without drama, without pleading, without fear. I say it the way someone says the truth when they've finally stopped arguing with themselves. I am waiting not because I have nothing else to do, but because some things deserve space, because some feelings don't ask to be chased, they ask to be respected. I wake up and the world moves fast, louder than it needs to be. Everyone reaching for something, everyone afraid of missing out. And in the middle of all that motion, there is this still point inside me where your answer lives. It doesn't shout, it doesn't rush me, it just exists. Steady, patient, honest. I've learned that waiting is misunderstood. People think it's weakness, like you're standing still while life passes you by. But waiting can be a choice, a strong one. Waiting can mean you know what you're worth, and you're not willing to replace something meaningful with something convenient. I'm not waiting because I'm empty. I'm waiting because I'm full of something real, full of memories that don't fade when I try to distract myself, full of moments that replay quietly when the noise dies down, full of a feeling that didn't arrive loudly but stayed. Love doesn't always come in fireworks. Sometimes it comes in recognition. In that calm moment when you realize you don't need to perform, don't need to pretend, don't need to be more than you are. Love can feel like sitting across from someone in silence and knowing the silence isn't empty. And when that kind of love appears, you don't rush it. You don't demand answers like receipts. You give it room to breathe. That's what I'm doing. Giving it room, giving you room, giving myself room too. There are days when waiting feels easy, when patience feels like confidence. I move through my day, talk to people, do what needs to be done. And somewhere underneath it all, there's this quiet certainty. And then there are days when the weight of not knowing presses a little harder, not enough to break me, just enough to remind me that I care. On those days, I don't fight the feeling. I let it exist. Because caring is not a flaw. Feeling deeply is not something to apologize for. I think we've forgotten how to sit with emotions without trying to fix them. We label everything. We rush to conclusions. We want clarity immediately, as if the heart operates on deadlines. But some answers need time to become honest. Some words need silence before they mean anything. I don't want an answer that's rushed or forced or shaped by fear. I want the one that comes from a place where you've listened to yourself long enough to recognize the truth. While I wait, I pay attention to the small things. The way the light changes in the afternoon. The sound of my own breathing when the room is quiet. The realization that my life still has value, still has movement, still has purpose even in uncertainty. Waiting hasn't stopped me from living. It's taught me how to live with intention. How to slow down enough to notice what actually matters. There's strength in not running away from uncertainty, strength in staying open when it would be easier to close off. I could pretend I don't care. I could fill the space with noise, with distractions, with temporary replacements, but that would be dishonest. And love, real love, doesn't survive dishonesty. So I stay where I am, grounded, present, willing. I am waiting for your answer because I respect you enough to let you find it on your own. Because I respect myself enough not to beg for something that should be given freely. Love offered without freedom isn't love, it's fear. And I don't want fear to be the reason two people come together. I want courage, I want clarity, I want truth, even if that truth takes time. Sometimes I think about how rare it is to find someone you're willing to wait for. Not because you're afraid of losing them, but because you believe in what could exist if both people choose it fully. Waiting becomes a kind of promise to yourself, a promise that you won't settle for half answers or half feelings, that you won't rush past something meaningful just because patience is uncomfortable. The world keeps telling us that if something doesn't happen quickly, it's not meant to be. But some of the strongest things are built slowly. Trust is slow, depth is slow. Real connection takes time to form roots before it shows growth. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the slow build, the quiet days, the unanswered questions, because I know what I'm waiting for isn't shallow. If your answer comes tomorrow, I'll meet it with openness. If it takes longer, I'll meet that time with the same respect. And if the answer is not what I hoped for, I'll still know that waiting was the right thing to do. Because it was honest, because it was brave, because I didn't betray my own heart by rushing it towards something easier. Waiting has taught me how to listen, not just to you, but to myself. To understand the difference between loneliness and solitude. To recognize that my worth doesn't depend on the speed of someone else's decision. I am complete even in the pause, even in the unknown. So I stand here, not asking, not demanding, not chasing, just waiting, calm, open, steady, letting time do what time does best. Letting truth rise when it's ready, letting love be what it's supposed to be. I am waiting for your answer, and in that waiting there is silence, not the kind that feels empty or awkward, but the kind that settles in slowly, like it belongs there. Silence has a reputation for being uncomfortable, something people rush to fill with words, explanations, excuses. But silence is where the truth usually starts. Before opinions, before promises, before fear learns how to speak louder than honesty. When everything goes quiet, there's nowhere to hide. No performance, no distractions, just the sound of your own thoughts showing you who you really are. I've learned that answers given too quickly often belong to noise, not to truth. Silence gives thoughts time to separate from impulse. It gives feelings time to reveal whether they are real or just reactions. That's why I respect the silence between us, because I know whatever grows, there will be honest. We live in a world that mistakes constant communication for connection. Messages sent without thought, words used like currency, spent quickly and forgotten just as fast. But the things that actually matter don't always announce themselves. They arrive quietly. They stay quiet. They ask to be felt, not explained. Silence doesn't mean absence. Sometimes it means presence so deep it doesn't need words. In silence, you start hearing things you ignored before. You hear what you're afraid of losing. You hear what you've been pretending doesn't matter. You hear the difference between wanting someone and choosing them. That difference doesn't shout. It waits patiently until you're ready to admit it. Silence is honest that way. It doesn't lie to make you comfortable. While I wait, I don't try to control the quiet. I don't rush to interpret it as rejection or distance. I let it be what it is. Space. Space for you to listen to yourself without pressure. Space for me to remain open without demanding reassurance. Love that can survive silence is love that isn't built on insecurity. There's strength in allowing quiet moments to exist without panic. It means you trust the connection enough not to constantly test it. It means you understand that not every feeling needs immediate validation. Some feelings need time to mature before they can be spoken without regret. Silence protects that process. I've noticed that when people are afraid, they talk more. They explain themselves before being asked. They promise things they're not ready to give. Silence, on the other hand, belongs to people who are thinking carefully. People who don't want to say the wrong thing just to avoid discomfort. People who understand that once words are spoken, they can't be taken back. In this quiet, I'm not imagining stories or creating expectations. I'm just listening. Listening to the calm inside me that says waiting is not wasting time. Listening to the part of me that knows rushing would cheapen what could be meaningful. Silence has taught me patience, and patience has taught me respect. Truth doesn't like pressure. The moment you force it, it changes shape. It becomes something safer, something easier, something less real. Silence removes that pressure. It allows honesty to rise naturally without fear of disappointing anyone. That's the kind of answer I'm waiting for, one that wasn't rushed into existence. Sometimes silence feels heavy because it reflects us back to ourselves. It shows us what we're avoiding. It asks questions we don't want to answer yet. But avoiding those questions doesn't make them disappear. Silence makes sure we hear them eventually. And when we do, the answers mean more. I don't measure your feelings by how quickly you respond. I measure them by the care behind them. And care often moves slowly. It pauses. It considers consequences. It chooses words carefully, or chooses not to speak until the words are true. Silence can be an act of care. While waiting, I've learned that my peace doesn't depend on constant reassurance. I don't need noise to feel secure. I don't need constant affirmation to know my feelings are valid. Silence has given me confidence, not doubt. It's shown me that I can sit with uncertainty without letting it define me. If your answer comes from silence, it will carry weight. It will be rooted in reflection, not impulse. Whether it's what I hope for or not, it will be real. And real answers, even difficult ones, are easier to accept than comforting lies spoken too soon. So I remain here, not filling the quiet with assumptions, not interrupting the process with impatience, just allowing silence to do its work, letting truth take the time it needs to become clear, letting love, if it's there, reveal itself without being pushed. I am waiting for your answer in a world that doesn't wait for anything. Everything moves fast here, faster than feelings can catch up, faster than understanding, faster than honesty. We're taught that if something takes time, it's already failing. That if someone doesn't decide quickly, they don't care enough. But that kind of thinking turns love into a race. And I've never believed the most important things should be won by speed. Choosing patience today feels almost rebellious. It means stepping out of the noise that says more, now, immediately. It means trusting that depth can't be rushed without losing something essential. I'm not waiting because I'm unsure of what I feel. I'm waiting because I am sure enough not to force it into something smaller than it is. The world rewards urgency, quick decisions, fast commitments, immediate results. But urgency is often driven by fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of missing out, the fear of sitting with unanswered questions. Patience asks you to face those fears instead of running from them. It asks you to stay present, even when there's no guarantee of the outcome. While I wait, life keeps moving, and I move with it. I don't put my life on hold. I don't freeze myself in expectation. Patience isn't stopping. It's moving forward without rushing the heart. It's doing what needs to be done while leaving space for what matters to unfold naturally. I've learned that impatience often pretends to be passion. It feels intense, convincing, urgent. But passion without patience burns out quickly. Patience gives emotion endurance. It allows feelings to deepen instead of exploding and disappearing. What survives time is usually what's real. Choosing patience means accepting that you can't control everything. You can show up honestly. You can be open. You can be clear about what you feel. But you can't decide for someone else. And trying to do that only turns love into pressure. I don't want to be the source of pressure in your life. I want to be a place of calm. In a world that constantly tells us to replace what doesn't respond immediately, patience becomes an act of loyalty. Not blind loyalty, but conscious loyalty to your values, to your emotions, to the belief that some connections deserve time instead of being discarded at the first sign of delay. Patience also teaches humility. It reminds you that not everything revolves around your timeline, that other people have their own processes, their own fears, their own reasons for pausing. Respecting that doesn't make you smaller, it makes you human. There are moments when impatience whispers that waiting is foolish, that choosing calm over urgency means you're falling behind. But I've learned that moving too fast often takes you further away from what you actually want. Slowing down lets you see clearly. It lets you choose with intention instead of impulse. I'm not waiting because I'm afraid to let go. I'm waiting because I'm strong enough to stay open without guarantees. Because I understand that love isn't proven by how quickly someone answers, but by how thoughtfully they choose. If patience leads to connection, it will be solid. If it leads to separation, it will be honest. Either way, it protects my integrity. It allows me to walk forward, knowing I didn't rush, didn't pressure, didn't betray what I believe love should be. So I choose patience in this fast world. I choose to let time reveal what words cannot. I choose to trust that what's meant to stay will not be lost just because I refuse to rush it.